going on, everybody? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, the Chicago Bulls just got some great news around Lonzo Ball as he is still rehabbing from that knee injury. And then also, I do want to talk about three players who are marquee players on this roster that could be traded at this upcoming NBA trade deadline. Stay tuned. I'll give you guys my thoughts on that. But first off, I just want to say thank you guys so much for the 9,500 people who have already hit that subscribe button. And we are closing in on 10,000 subscribers here on the channel. It is awesome. I started this channel about this time last year, and I've just loved chopping it up about the Bulls with you guys every single day. So if you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We are going to be going live for games during the season, and obviously just keeping you up to date on everything around your favorite basketball team. So hit that subscribe button and lock us in. So Lonzo talked about his rehab process during his podcast the other day, and this is what Lonzo said. He said, "Fans can't expect me back on the court. That's all I want to do." And this was coming after he was finally cleared for 5-on-5 play. He's had a couple scrimmages. He's had a couple practices already under his belt. And then he came out and said, hey, fans can't expect me to be on the court this upcoming season. And right now, everything is going smoothly for Lonzo. Every single time I get, an injury update around him, I'm always looking for that setback because, that's all we know as Bulls fans is Lonzo. He makes some progress, then he has another setback, and then he can't finally get back to who he was when he did join the Bulls. But everything's going smoothly for Lonzo. Great news on his front. We'll share some photos with you guys here in a second. But Lonzo, I want to kick it back to his 2021-22 season because this was when Lonzo said actually he was one of the best point guards in the NBA during this time. And I kind of agree with him. Like, obviously, the stat sheet isn't going to blow you away. He's not like a Steph Curry-esque point guard where he's going to go average 26 and 7. Like, he doesn't need the ball in his hands to be successful. And that's why he was so successful in that 21 season. 13 points a night, 5 boards, 5 assists. And he also shot the three ball very, very well this season. So crazy enough that he had the same field goal percentage and three-point percentage that year. It's just one of the random, NBA stats that always gives me a chuckle every time we look at it. But, the question becomes with Lonzo is what type of Lonzo are we going to get? Are we going to get, the transition point guard who is 6'6", can push the ball very well? Probably not, but I do think we're going to get some resemblance of that. And I think Lonzo, if we talk about who he's been since high school, even dating back to his days at UCLA, he's been a winner at every single level. So I think Lonzo, even though he will take a step back athletically following this rehab process with his knee, I still think he's going to be a very impactful and high IQ player when he's out there. And we actually got a clip of him dunking the other day, which was great to see. Obviously with Lonzo Ball, like, I'm not anticipating him where he's going to be, that rim pressuring guard that he once was, but I think he's still going to be able to guard at a decently high level. And actually in his workout clips, he was absolutely draining the three ball, which was great to see because I don't think that's something he's going to lose. He worked too hard on that. He changed his form, and he's got just one fluid motion now, same release point, which, that was a big question mark with him coming out of college. Can he adjust his jump shot to the NBA level? And he did that. And even more, photos from his practice session. Look at this one all the way on the left here. Lonzo damn near had his head at the rim. So maybe I could be wrong about him losing a step athletically as, obviously modern day medicine, obviously really helps these guys, get back to their old selves. But the jump shot looks good. The handle looks good. And the IQ looks good in all these workout videos that I have seen. And listen, my take, people ask me all the time, like, obviously you're a big Lonzo guy, but what type of Zoe are we going to get? And I think Lonzo, he's been a winning player since birth. I think his dad did a great job of teaching him how to play basketball the right way. And I think that's going to translate to him still being effective following the injury. Now, in my opinion, I think Lonzo really is one of those guys where he just has such a good feel for the game. Like, he's been playing high level and high leverage basketball since he was damn near 12 years old. And that was just the environment his dad put around him. I think we're going to see that, that impact this year where he is going to be able to step in, hopefully game one and be effective. And, I can't wait to have that point guard rotation of Giddey and Lonzo Ball. You got big point guards who, can get their teammates open shots in the flow of the offense. I'm just excited to see what they're going to do out there this upcoming season. But let's show Lonzo Ball our support here. Show him some love. Give me a Zoe down below in the comments section as as a Bulls fan, this is something I just can't wait to see is Lonzo Ball back on the court, back on the United Center hardwood. So show him some support, excuse me, and type those down below. We'll talk about three players here that could get traded in a second. But first off, if you guys want to get some Chicago Bulls merchandise before the season starts, click this link right here, chatsports.com/Bulls combo. You guys can get this 2 t-shirt pack on a sweet deal. I'll put that link for you guys in the comments and description of today's show. But check it out if you guys want to rock some Chicago Bulls merchandise this summer and before the season. All right, let's talk about three players here who could get dealt. And these are probably the three best players on the Bulls roster besides LaVine and Vooch. And the first one we're going to talk about here is Coby White. Now, I can already see the comment section getting flooded right now. You guys getting pissed off. Why would the Bulls trade Coby White? I understand that. I am very against trading Coby White, and that's not the point I want to make on this. The point I want to make is that nobody on this Bulls team is untouchable. Like, there is not a single player on this Bulls roster as it is currently constructed that I think is an untouchable asset. The Bulls are so far away from winning an NBA championship. You need to look at potentially a run in 4 or 5 years from now when potentially Modest Buzelis develops, whoever you draft in next year's draft. If you end up getting that selection, that player could be your franchise player. And I love Coby White. I love the development of his game. But let's just say the Bulls are really struggling this year, and a contender throws you 3 first-round picks for Coby White, which I think is possible considering the contract he is on. I could see a team getting very desperate, trying to get another scoring guard. Maybe it ends up being like, I don't know. You could throw out like the Orlando Magic out there. Maybe Jalen Suggs has an injury, and they want to throw multiple first-round picks and kind of go all in on this short run that they have. Just, again, I think it's very unlikely that it happens, but we got to remember, this Bulls team is very far away from contending. Everybody should be on the table. Let's quick get to Io here. So, Io, if I had to rank a player, or if I had to pick a player on the Bulls team that I think is going to be around when they are back contending for championships, it's probably Io, just with his style of play, and he's a guy that can fit into any offensive system, and he obviously will be a plus defender no matter where he's at. And actually, Bleacher Report suggested the other day a Milwaukee Bucks trade. Now, I broke this trade down on the channel. I thought it was ludicrous as it had, the Bulls sending Io to the Bucks for Pat Connaughton and a 2031 pick swap, which was a pretty terrible deal in my opinion. I think that honestly speaks to how underrated he is in the NBA. He has a Bruce Brown type of impact where he's a plus point of attack defender, and he's a really good three-point shooter, and he just plays the game the right way. He plays very hard. So if I had to pick one player who I am keeping out of everybody on the Bulls, I would actually probably choose Io over Coby White, even though Coby White is, right now the significantly better basketball player in terms of winning impact. I think I would lean Io over Coby. Let's kick to the third one here. What about the player who just got extended by the Bulls and just signed a new 5-year contract, Patrick Williams? Now, P-Dub, in my opinion, I think is going to have a breakout year. I will pound the table on this. I was wrong about him having his breakout year last year, but I love what I saw in those 43 games, and he started off the season rough. He was shooting below 30% from the field, below 20% from downtown. He ended up getting those numbers up pretty heavily in the second half of his season. 10 points a game, 4 rebounds, 39.9% from downtown. And I think the volume for Patrick Williams needs to increase, but if he can maintain the efficiency while increasing the volume of his three-point shot, he could turn himself into one of the better 3-and-D players in the league. Now, listen, I'm against trading Patrick Williams as well. He is another guy that I would for sure keep on this team. But let's just say he doesn't develop. Let's just say he doesn't take that next step, and he is still more of the same player that he's been here with the Bulls, and a team wants him. You got to consider trading him. Like, it just gets me back to this point. And, it's a tough position for the Bulls to be in. I would want to be in a position where I could say the Bulls need to keep this guy because I love what these three have done, for the Bulls in their short careers so far. But with where they are at right now, everything's got to be on the table. There is not one player on this team where I am for sure keeping, even who we just traded for, Josh Giddey. If another team makes you an offer you can't refuse, you would have to at least entertain it because, again, the Bulls are very, 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 very far away from contending. You just can't, kind of short yourself here and consider anybody untouchable. But you guys let me know. Would you ever trade Coby White? What say you here? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no down below in the comments section. Again, I'm probably typing my Y's for yes on this one, but again, it would have to be with an absolute overpay from a contender, and then I would move off Coby White. But, again, I would obviously prefer for the Bulls not to trade him. But hey, if you guys disagree with me, if you guys want to yell at me, I suggest you guys do so on Twitter. Give me a follow over there, and I'll give you guys a follow right back. As always, go Bulls.